Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meetings. Today we have Xiaoju, who's going to show us how to use Clusteradm to run kubectl commands. Without any further delay, Xiaoju, please take it away. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So here I'm going to introduce a new feature of Clusteradm, and this new feature will leverage cluster proxy and manage service account to provide us a convenience way for accessing Kube API service of managed clusters. So the demo is here. First, we can check we have two clusters, a hub and a managed cluster named cluster one. And we are going to use hub as our context. Then we can also check we have two add-on installed. The cluster proxy add-on and the managed service account add-on. And then we can check we have two managed service account created. So those two managed service account is banded with a different cluster role. The test is banded with cluster domain, and cluster let is banded with cluster light. And what we can do is we can use proxy kubectl this command to access cluster one. From hub, for example, we can get namespace. Yeah. So here we use test as our service account, and this part we are going to use just like using kubectl. Any comments supported by kubectl, we can put it here. And we can also get ports and do port execution. Yes. So if we change our service account, here we change it to cluster light, we can still get secrets, but because cluster light is not banded, is not claimed, it will needs pod usage. So if we try to get pods, it will return forbidden. Yeah, I think that's all for the demo. Thank you.
Yes, I think
Any?
the so I think the one of the gap I actually tried this command already, but the gap I think is we currently cannot create the managed service account easily from the command line. So we add a command on the Clusteradm to create a managed service account, and maybe bind and also bind that service account to a certain cluster role. Will that be helpful?
Yeah. Well, I also found another gap. Maybe that is we cannot run at when we run pod execution, we cannot run it in the interaction way, like jump into the bash bin bash. Yeah.
So we can now run bash with this.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So how about the logs? Can we use logs?
Oh yeah, we can run logs. I have tried it. Yeah, maybe you can run it here. I think execution in interaction way, maybe we need to make some improvements, but other uh, other commands are all supported.
Can you increase the font size on this Windows? Okay.
Sorry, increase what?
The font size.
Font
I think you
size.
just changed it to the log, just from proxy to log, right? Couldn't really see, but
I'm not sure what the command should be like. Would you like? Could you?
No,
Could
I
you?
mean, to enlarge the font size of the terminal. So it's more
Sorry.
visible.
Large size. Okay. Uh, I'll copy it from here. Yes, so we use logs command here, and it will run successfully.
this is really
Yeah,
useful.
yes, and I don't know if whether should we support other authentication for this command, like uh, use a TLS search fields. Now it only supports managed service account for authorization. Yeah.
Another feasible approach to do the authentication is to have a OIDC proxy agent in the managed clusters. For example, yeah, every time we do a Kubectl, Clusteradm proxy Kubectl, then there should be a proxy agent in the middle. It exchanges the identity, or like the end client the Clusteradm issues the request against the proxy agent, where the auth agent, the OIDC agent with a OIDC token, then the OIDC token, then the OIDC agent will use that token to sign a OIDC token, which is which can be used to authenticate, can be authenticated by the local managed clusters. So so it will be feasible for a remote client from the hub cluster to access a managed clusters. Or it doesn't necessarily it isn't necessarily to be a OIDC auth agent. It can just be a proxy auth agent. For example, in Kubernetes, there's a that there's a very simple auth agent implementation which which basically reads the identity from the request headers, the HTTP request headers specifically, and in the headers there are usernames, user groups, and other information. Then the auth agents can just reads the HTTP headers from the request, then impersonate to the target identities when like proxying the request to the local managed clusters.
Yeah.
That's my thought about the authentications, what we can do in the next phase, I think.
That did mean we need to deploy another proxy agent on the managed cluster to do this proxy.
Yeah, I think it can be a sidecar of the cluster proxy. Yeah, it can be a sidecar container of the cluster proxy. For now, we have a add-on agent and the proxy agent. Specifically, it's the official proxy agent of API Server Network Proxy, and then we can have a third agent named auth agent, authentication agent, or request header agent. Yeah, request header authentication. That's the exact name we use in Kubernetes. Yeah.
So it's basically update the request headers on the proxy the request. I mean, okay. Something that like that the token that we pass it is still the token for the hub, but we get the user ID and group from that token and set to the request header. Is that?
Yeah. But it is not the case when we are doing authentications via request headers. Via request header, we just put the identities in the HTTP headers, and as long as the client the client's TLS certificate is authenticated by the auth agents, then the auth agents will just perform a impersonation which twists the original client identity to the impersonated identity.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So what the identity, which identity we should put in that request header? Like it's identity of the token on the hub, or it's an OIDC, maybe the identity from a third-party provider thing.
I think we can start with a local service, the name and namespace of a local service account in the managed cluster.
Okay. Yeah.
Which looks more reasonable to the managed cluster, because if we are doing it via auth agents, then we can impersonate into any identities while changing the headers, which is a bit which will bring a bit vulnerabilities to the managed cluster. So I think it should be a service account, and it should be an agreed service account. I didn't think it through yet, but I think there should be, if we are if there's a auth agents, then the scope, the target scope, the impersonatable the scope of the identity should be limited.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
That was a really good demo and an interesting discussion. Are there any other questions or someone wants to bring up anything related to this Clusteradm using kubectl command? If not, thank you, Xiao Jiao, for the demonstration. I just want to mention that in the beginning, thank you. In the beginning of the community meetings, I mentioned that we're planning to use the Zoom for our next community meeting call. So if there are any objection, please mention it in the Kubernetes Slack, Open Cluster Management Slack. This Zoom server is provided by CNCF. I feel like we should leverage some of their resources. With that being said, Kujang and Minkim, are there any other topics you want to discuss for this week?
I just want to call that we participate a summer project in China about the open source project. It's more like a project that will include some students in the university, and they could choose some open source project and help us to improve the project. So we will provide some issues for them, and they will be sponsored to help us. So yeah, Ming, would you like to describe a lot more on this?
Yeah, it's basically the local version, the domestic version of GSOC. Yeah, it's just it's just the full name is open source the open source promotion plan, which which is opening to the all the international students and the Chinese students, and there are like a few this is how it works. We just open a few issues and subprojects in the community, and we review, and then we review and select the proper for the from the applicant students candidates. Then during the next 3 months, we can help the students, help the participants to implement the project. So we had I just opened the 2 tickets. One is about introducing OpenTrees into Kubernetes multi-cloud environments, and another is about the topology of their multi-cluster scheduling. So in the end, there should be the participants should be able to maintain some of the subprojects, or like develop a initial version of some new subprojects in the community. And yeah, and most all of these, both of the tickets are kind of experimental, which with that being said, the students are allowed to the output of the outcome of this ASOC or OSPP project is not required to be a complete subproject. It can even be just a investigation doc. Yeah, that's basically how this open university open source plan works. Oh yeah, and last but not least, the students will get a bonus paid after they finish this project. What yeah. Another mentor, one mentor is me, another mentor is Qing Hao, and we currently is still in the phase of reviewing the resume of the students. We haven't finished selecting one student yet. Yeah, the deadline is June 4th. So by then, after then, we are supposed to see some new student member in our community.
That sounds great. Thank you, Min Kim and Quinn Hao. Are there any other topics, Eugene?
Nope, not for me. Thank you.
Anyone else? Liang, Patrick, Brianna?
I'm good, thank you.
Nothing from me.
Okay, if not, then thank you, everyone. Here. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.